Hi everyone, namaste. Welcome to your yin practice. Let's start. You might need a bolster or a pillow or a cushion. You might need one or two blocks. If you prefer to have a blanket next to you, please grab one now. And we'll start lying on our back. So as you arrange your blocks, arrange them in a way that the one block is directly underneath the shoulder blades, and the other block rests underneath the head, so the head and the neck are supported. And I like to go medium height in the block, or even low height sometimes, but you can select medium or low height depending on how you feel comfortable in your own body. You can choose to have the knees bent or the legs stretched out to the front. And settle into this posture, which is a supported fish pose. Take these few moments to arrive into your space and onto your mat. And at the very onset, we let go of any effort and inculcate a sense of surrender. Silently repeating the affirmation, I am worthy of love and acceptance. I am worthy of love and acceptance. Just a few more breaths now. And gradually manage your way out of the pose. Move the blocks out to the side. Take a moment before we get up to just relax in the Shavasana. Short, really relaxation to move the blocks and just observe. There's a sense of fragility as we get out of a posture, so witness that. And now go ahead and bend the right knee as you take half happy baby pose. You can choose to hold on to the back of the thigh or the shin or the foot. So we bend only one knee first, the right knee. And with the left leg, you can choose to keep the knee bent or straighten the leg to the mat in front. As you reach for the right heel or the ankle, you can hold from the inside or the outside. I like holding the foot from the inside so I can reach for the heel, and I bend the elbow and gently guide the knee away and down, away from the rib and down. Silently repeating the affirmation, I feel compassion for all beings. I feel compassion for all beings. Release the leg. Place the feet on the mat, knees bent. Take a moment. And switch legs as you bend the left knee closer to chest. You can choose to hold at the back of the thigh or around the shin or the heel. With the right leg, you can choose to straighten the right leg to the mat in front or keep the knee bent. Half happy baby pose does stimulate the inner groins, and it works on the kidneys and the urinary bladder meridians. If reaching up to the foot with the hand is uncomfortable, you can choose to use a strap or a scarf or a towel. Silently repeat the affirmation. I feel empathy for all beings. I feel empathy for all beings. Release the leg, bend the knees, feet on the mat. And roll to any one side as you manage your way up. And we'll come into an all fours position for melting heart pose. You can use a blanket or a cushion to pad the knees. If your knees are okay, that's fine too. Remember, we're staying here for quite a while. So pad the knees if you wish. Reach your arms out to the front. Maintain the knees directly underneath the hips. And you can rest the chin on the mat or the forehead on the mat. Using the blocks is a lot more intense on the back and on the shoulders. So if you wish to use the block, that's fine. Otherwise, stretch your arms out to the front, lower the forearms to the mat, and melt the heart, chest down to the floor. You can rest the forehead on the mat, which is a lot more comfortable, or you can rest the chin on the mat. If the arms extended out to the front is not comfortable, you can fold your forearms or one of the forearms and rest your forehead on the forearm. This is a really nice back bend for the upper and the middle back. Softening the chest, the heart area, opening through the shoulders. Gradually make your way into child's pose. And we'll take a supported child's pose. So if you have a bolster or a cushion, separate the knees and nestle the bolster in between the knees to rest the chest onto the bolster, the side of the cheek onto the bolster as well. Gradually bring your way up and out of the pose. We'll take a pose called saddle pose. To set this up, some of you may need this setup, some of you may not. Use 2 blocks and place the bolster against the block into this queen's pose. Straighten the legs to the mat in front and bend your left knee. Send the heel on the outside of the hip. Lean back onto your elbows and relax the back of the head onto the bolster. Adjust yourself so you're comfortable. Now, this is not very comfortable on people's knees. If it's really uncomfortable, you need to increase the height of the bolster. So if you used 1 block or so, use 2 blocks. So you're not leaning too far back. The higher away you are from the floor, the lesser pressure on the knee. On the other hand, if you do not feel a stretch on that left quadricep, then you can choose to reduce the height of the bolster. I took off out of 2 blocks, I took 1 block off, and now I'm going to take the next block off as well. And I prefer to keep the cushion there because it was nice and comfortable. You can choose to relax the hands by the side or reach the arms up and over. Find a comfortable resting place for the arms. Silently repeat the affirmation. I'm willing to forgive and be forgiven. I'm willing to forgive and be forgiven. A few more breaths here. Bring yourself out of the pose. Use the support of the elbows to prop yourself up or roll onto one side. And slowly straighten the left leg. Take a moment before switching legs. As you switch legs, adjust your bolster. You can choose to bend the other leg and then straighten depending on how you feel comfortable. And even though this is a back bend, it's not a very deep back bend. So for those of you who are already pretty open in the front of the body and have pretty good practice of back bends, this is not a very deep back bend, but the pose does work on other areas like the ankles and the quadriceps, the hip flexors. Once again, be mindful of the knee. Silently repeat the affirmation. I listen to my heart and let it guide me. I listen to my heart and let it guide me. Just a few more breaths here. And manage your way out of this pose, either using the elbows or roll to one side and stretch the leg out to the mat in front. Bend your knees, place the feet on the mat, separate the feet, and send both knees to the left side in this windshield viper position. Bring the knees to center, switch sides. Switch sides. Bring the knees to center, 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 Bring the knees to the center and manage your way into a squat position, a low squat. And you can use the bolster or the folded blanket underneath the heels. Or if you wish to use the blocks, you can use the 2 blocks underneath the heels. The idea is to find length in the spine and not round the spine. So if you need to use the blocks underneath the heels, or you can choose to stack the blocks and sit on the blocks. Of course, the blocks underneath the heels or the cushion underneath the heels is for those who cannot plant the heels onto the floor comfortably. If you can bring the heels on the mat comfortably, you don't need the blocks. That's fine too. Adjust yourself so your knees separate and your arms are on either the inside of the knees, palms touching, or you can choose to straighten the arms out to the front and rest the arms over the knees, relaxing the hands as if you were waiting for a bus at a bus stop. And we stay here for a few breaths. Squat, also called malasana, offers a nice decompression to the spine. Silently repeat the affirmation, I feel a deep connection to others. I feel a deep connection to others. Now we come into a forward bend, a standing forward bend. If you wish to use the blocks underneath the hands, you can choose to use the blocks. If you choose to bend the knees, you can bend the knees. You can choose to grab on to opposite elbows. The name of the pose is called dangling pose, or a simple passive standing forward bend. Reflect on the affirmation. I consider how my actions affect others. I consider how my actions affect others. Few breaths here. And now come into a squat, rebend the knees. Take a moment. Lift through the heart center. And relax the hips onto the mat. we'll prep ourselves for Shavasana. You can choose to use the bolster underneath the knees and bring the soles of the feet to touch, knees out to the sides. Relax back onto the mat. Relax the hands by the side of the hips. Eyes closed. Relax the body. Relax the face, the jaw. Relax the legs, the feet. Begin to move the fingers, the toes, the wrists, the ankles. Bring the knees to the chest. Roll fully over towards one side. Use the support of the hands to come up into a comfortable seated posture. Bring your palms to touch in front of the heart. Drop the palms. Hover them over the eyes. Rub the palms. Hover them over the face. Rub the palms, create warmth. And take this from the top of the head, the shoulders, the sides of the body, the legs, the feet. As you open the eyes, thank you everybody. Have a wonderful day ahead.